Welcome to the Influence Factory podcast. This program is dedicated to support professionals who have a desire to develop their digital business influence so they can navigate through a fast-paced, constantly growing digital world. We invite newcomers as well as our family of business influencers to a place to play, share ideas, questions, tips, and guidance with other thought leaders around the globe. Sit back and enjoy our program with our host Dean DeLisle as he interviews guests. News and commentary is provided by Cait Hassett and Jackson DeLisle. Power Move lessons are provided by the Influencer Marketing Department at Social Jack. And production, editing, and distribution is provided by the Social Jack production team.
All right. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Influence Factory. We have a great show for you today. So let's go ahead and get started. So real quick, community update. We originally had Fulsher booked for this show, and he is in a jam and cannot make it. He's probably stuck in some LA traffic, as typically happens, but he texted with apologies, and we will have him on another episode. But the good news is we have some cool things that we're going to reveal behind the scenes as part of you being part of our community to make sure that you get to sort of know how to do some of the newest technology-based things to generate new business and to increase your influence. So real quick, we are going to be launching. We told you the date of the next influencer class here in Chicago. What's different about that, and Cait and I and Jackson and the whole team are excited, is not only is it a workshop, but we're actually going to be doing interviews ahead of time as you register, and we're going to be writing your social media summary profiles for your bios, your stories. So by the time you get to the workshop, you'll be learning how to maintain that story, how to talk about your story, how to do social media posting, etc., as well as use that to attract your brand. So we're super excited about that. Jackson is going to send out a link to everybody to get on the waiting list for that, and those emails will go out next week, and you can start registering. If you're on the waiting list, you get first dibs, and there's only 50 seats in the Chicago workshop, and they will sell out quickly. So just as a heads up. All right, there's that link. All right, so with that being said, we have news today. So this is interesting too. Cait and I were talking about this. It's how to turn customer feedback into amazing social media posts for your clients. And so I'm going to let Jackson kick it off, and Cait and Jackson talk about this. So go for it, guys.
Yeah. So the biggest thing, now is online review sites. That's going to really help with SEO and really help with customer trust, building that trust with your audience. Before anyone does anything, even myself, before I go out to a restaurant, before I get my hair cut at a new place, before I do any of those things, I always check their, but mainly the Google My Business, which is probably the best one, in my opinion, to help with SEO, because when you Google any business, their Google My Business card will pop up with images, contact information, and even, store hours if they have a storefront. So that is a big thing when, you're building trust with a client, that all that information's there. And also you have tons of, positive reviews, getting those positive reviews from clients. What this article really talks about is diving in and getting more people, more customers to leave reviews, how to encourage that, and also how to promote the positive posts that people have already left on your account. So this is a really cool article, in my opinion, just to help build brand awareness, and even, like I said before, building trust with that audience. It's another huge thing, because if someone doesn't, have that information, have that trust, saying, oh, Susie from Ohio said this was the best experience of her life, I want to be a part of that experience. Though things like that are going to help drive up that trust, that increase business opportunities, and that's one of the biggest things. So sharing them on social is really going to help, because you're not only taking it out of the Google search or the the Yelp page, or there's other ones, Angie's List, Better Business Bureau, things like that. And I think, the biggest part of this is that social media is constantly growing. It's constantly evolving. It's constantly, more people are signing up. There was in the social media report for this past year that was posted in November of 2018. It showed that social media users grew by 121 million between Q2 and Q3 of 2017. And if you look at that and you think, oh, wow, so 121 million users between Q2 and Q3 of 2017, that's a new user every 15 seconds. So sharing your positive reviews on social media and also just talking about it, driving people back to it, it'll encourage others to leave more positive reviews. You're always going to have maybe one negative person, but there's ways to counter that.
Just one?
Ideally, yes. Ideally, you'll just have one person. Ideally, you'll have 0 people. Honestly.
Yeah, and we work on this a lot with our customers, and clients in terms of trying to determine, because I think, Cait, what happens is there's an overwhelming aspect to, how do you pick your poison here, right? You and I were talking about it, almost gets to the point of overwhelm. So, how do you think about this with the reviews? And I'm sort of curious for the listeners to tell us, what review platforms do you rely on for your business as well, while Cait's covering this?
Yeah, so, there's a couple really great ways to leverage the reviews. So as good as I that people don't really like to leave positive reviews. You tend to use the review section as an outlet to complain, and we do it. My favorite place to complain is not to leave a review, but to do it on Twitter and be like, hey, by the way, Facebook's down. Does anybody else know what's going on? And they're trying to, avoid that bad press, and they immediately are going to message you and say, we're working on the issue. So it's a lot harder to get good reviews than bad reviews. So how can we leverage them? First of all, we want to turn them into amazing content. Whenever I'm making a social media map for a client and planning out, right, because social media is a recipe, it's a map. We post about essentially the same things each and every week, but the content changes. So we're always trying to highlight good reviews, good partners, good people that have worked with us, because those are your cheerleaders. It's way better to say this person worked with Social Jack and can praise about us than to say this is why we're awesome. You always want to listen to that third party. It's almost influencer marketing. If you look at it, that person has a network and they have somebody that they influence, and them telling their network that you're great is better than you telling your network that you're great. So turn that into content. If you can get pictures of somebody very happy with their products or their services in a meeting, in a coaching session, in a meetup, whatever it is, wearing your product, your jewelry. I know Julie's online, she sells jewelry. So things like that you can get pictures of, that you can post that if you post the great reviews. That's just content that speaks for you. All brands need cheerleaders, and that's a great way to leverage it. Another thing to keep in mind when you're looking at reviews is don't ignore them. So when I was at Wild Adventures at the theme park, one thing we really made important in our social strategy is to answer reviews and recognize them. Whenever somebody would complain that, it was a busy day in South Georgia at the theme park and the bathrooms were dirty, they go straight to Facebook and make a comment, and we would reach out immediately. Thank you for bringing this to our attention. We're going to direct message you and ensure you that the problem has been fixed. So don't just ignore it. Don't just let them go by. See how you can make the issue fixed, just like you would in real life. If somebody came into your store and complained, this wasn't up to my standards, you wouldn't say, oh, sorry, or just look at them blankly. You would address the issue. You would respond. You would help fix it. You would help retain the customer. So that's a really important part of social strategy to use reviews, is to answer and make it right. And then also, when you're promoting your services, when you're using things like Google Your Business, I love that Jackson said that it helps gain trust, but it's also all about credibility. How times do you get, I mean, Facebook, you got to love it. It's made it so easy for small to mid-sized businesses to create ads and reach a whole new audience. But how many times have you gotten an ad for something and you're like, wow, this is awesome. And you go click on the reviews and they're all negative. You know, I mean, it's terrible. So use that for a form of credibility when you're shopping, when you're working with someone, for yourself. You know, look at those reviews and take them with a grain of salt. Well, is this an issue with my product that we can easily fix? Versus just, this is somebody trying to tarnish our name. Because I think when you really dig down deep, more times than not, it's someone trying to help as opposed to somebody just, you know, trashing you online.
Yeah, and you're always going to get, I think, those folks. What's interesting about this is, you know, we talked a little bit a few weeks ago about Google My Business being sort of a newer play, and we've incorporated that into our client setups, and it's something for everyone to pay attention to, but it still pulls in all those Google reviews. And what's interesting is it also ties into Facebook. So here's a platform where Google's being smart, and they're drawing all the social media platforms to Google and even making Google stronger. But, you know, and you can put posts on there now too. So it's sort of now Google Plus has been sunsetted. Google My Business has come to the forefront. So
yeah, and to piggyback off of that, I would say that Facebook is another great place to encourage your users, your followers to, you know, leave reviews, because that's also going to, like I said, you know, build trust and, like Cait said, credibility. When people are like, why should I like this page? Why should I follow this page? To like, I mean, why would I want to see what they're posting? And those reviews are going to be proof of why, oh, they post, you know, thought leadership content. They post, you know, cool new gadgets that they're releasing, things like that. That's not what we don't do that. But I mean, that's it. we don't have gadgets, but
we have tools.
We do have tools, but you know, it's that sort of mentality is, you know, people, it's basically justifying why you should buy this, you know, product, why you should subscribe to this channel, things along that nature. And I think that's, I mean, what we're all striving for is to get more, you know, people to see our content, engaging with our content. And that's another great way to do it, is just by having people leave a Facebook review, leaving a Facebook review, and then that'll get pulled over to your Google My Business review. And that is, you know, again, going to help with SEO. People are going to be able to find your Facebook easier. People are going to be able to, you know, connect with you on social better, engage with your content. And, you know, what Dean and Cait were saying, you know, with Google My Business, another great campaign that they ran was Small Thanks with Google. We discussed this, you know, a few months ago, but what they did was they allowed you to just type in your company's name and then have marketing items encouraging more positive reviews. Hey, we're on Google My Business. Make sure to leave us a review. Things like that. Also, posters with, you know, their people's reviews on them, so they could hang them, you know, in their store, on their storefront. Things like that. It's a great way to just encourage people. Oh, look at that! Someone left, you know, this review. You know, and then people think about it. Oh, maybe I should go leave a review. Things along that nature.
Yeah, and it was interesting that they did physical content. Remember, Cait, we were looking at the table cards, tent cards, posters you could print out, and I think some of it was free, where they were just
Yeah,
So
they give you a package of like you know, a poster, a couple window stickers, and you know, downloadable content. So anything you can download, you download any of it for free and have it printed elsewhere. Things like that. But also they would deliver it for you for free. That's just for the first time. But anytime after that, you can download any of their social media posts that would show the, you know, a nice graphic capturing, you know, attention. And then all of a sudden it has the quote in the middle from their reviews. So that it's a really cool way to encourage other users. I would really, you know, encourage you to check it out. It'll be in the show notes. I'll put a link in there to the Small Thanks with Google. But that's that is a great tool.
Yeah, and Cait, while we have one more minute, everybody always asks about Yelp. I know on B2C it seems to still be a go-to place, and they index very well. I call them, I don't favor them because some of the things they've been caught up in before. I don't know if they've cleaned that up, but any comment on the B2B side with Yelp?
I actually don't have a lot of experience with the B2B side as Yelp. I, like Jackson, look at it for restaurants and things like that's more where I'm at. But I'd be interested to know if anybody else did. I haven't checked it out a lot for that.
Yeah, we don't work, super hard into Yelp because we're mostly on the B2B side, but I do look at it for comments and reviews. But again, so I'm always suspicious about that. So really the top three we talked about here was Google My Business. We have Yelp and Facebook seem to be the top three plays, right? So I'm curious again from the audience, if you have some, go ahead and comment in on that. So.
Yeah, we'd love. And also, while we're talking about this, I just kind of want to make everybody aware of something that Joe told us recently. If you haven't set up a Google My Business account, make sure you go onto Google and at least claim the account, because one thing that a lot of less reputable companies are doing is they claim your account for you, then more or less try to sell it to you or sell you the services to get it set up. If you haven't done that yet, if you haven't claimed your Google business account, make sure at the bare minimum you just go claim it and have it so that you have it in possession. So when obviously this is overwhelming. There's a lot of things that, we recommend you changing all the time, and you can only focus on, tidbits. So if it's something you plan to do in the future, which you should, just make sure you claim it for now. And you can do that with any Google email address. Go through the process of getting it set up. So at a later date, if you have time to focus on it, you can do so then.
Go ahead.
Like I said, this is a great article. Yeah, no, I got this. This is a great article, and I encourage you to check it out. I'll tweet out the article, in the next, few minutes here. And I will, make sure we'll put it in the show notes on YouTube and all available channels for podcasts. You'll be able to find the link there, as well as in the Resource Center on Social Jack. And don't forget to tweet to us throughout the week and let us know what kind of, information are you guys looking for? Because, we'll make sure to dive in and discuss anything like that. You can also, if you're watching the recording of this, comment below. Make sure to leave us a review on the YouTube, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spreaker, SoundCloud, now Spotify. We are on Spotify, everyone. So make sure to leave reviews, like, share, and tweet to us if you have any questions, or if you want, a different mix of articles and things like that shown on the episode. So.
All right. So that ends the news segment. So thanks you guys for digging into that. And I think it's always a moving target, so it's always good to cover. So.
Thank you for listening to the Influence Factory podcast. We welcome feedback and suggestions. You can provide these by visiting our website at www.myinfluencefactory.com. And if you are interested in Social Jack's 90 Days to Influence program, you can simply go to 90daystobusinessinfluence.com and simply ask for the next steps. While our program airs regularly on Zoom webcasts and Facebook Live on Wednesdays at noon Central, we invite you to download episodes on your favorite channel: YouTube, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spreaker, SoundCloud, and who knows where else in the future. We will also provide occasional on-location live streams with special guests that we will announce in our community Facebook group, Business Influencer Alliance, as well as on all Social Jack channels. Our mission is to help you build your digital business influence with this podcast, as well as inspire, educate, and entertain those who are hungry to collaborate in a cool place with cool business professionals just like you.